Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me here today. My name is Gabriel Brent and we are going to get started. So first off, I brought up this little slide, even though this isn't the topic that we're going to be talking about today, just to give you a general idea of what I look like, as well as the general information of trading is risky. So there is a substantial risk of loss. So all this information here provided today as we go over the one of the easiest trading setups you can possibly do in trading. This is all provided for educational purposes only. So let's start off with a couple quick polls here. And the reason why I'm going to start off with these polls is just so that I can get an idea and feel of where you are coming from. Okay, I don't want to talk above anybody's head. I don't believe in that kind of thing. It's almost an insult to the person that you're conversing with. Okay, so we're going to keep everything very, very basic today, and just talk about the facts of what the market provides us and what we're really looking to do here, which is, we're all looking to make money. Okay, so all right, well, thank you everybody for participating in that poll. And I have one more question for you. I really appreciate your input there. So let me ask this quick question here. What kind of trader are you? Okay. And if you guys want to put in some markets that you like to watch in the questions box, that would be awesome, just so that I have some good reference material that relates to you. All right, so thank you guys for voting on that. Appreciate it. Just so you know, it looks like most of the traders here are day traders. Okay, so, and as far as the experience goes, it looks like we have about 50% 1 to 2 and about 30% 5 years plus. So looks like we have some good experience in the room here today. All right, so let's go ahead and get going with things here. All right, first off, one more quick little question. Has everybody heard of the term supply and demand? Okay. Now I know those terms are probably something you heard in grade school, or let's say middle school economics. All right. I mean, those terms really aren't that complicated, Market moves up and moves down, supply and demand curves. Very simple stuff, Nothing extremely complicated about that idea at all, okay? But what I'm here to share with you today is that those simple concepts are actually concepts that I use every single day. And I'm going to show you how they relate to what we're seeing here in the market, okay? Now, as these ideas of supply and demand curves shift over time, what we are doing with this software here, and what this software is doing right now, is it's actually plotting out these zones, okay? It's identifying where is high, okay, and where is low, right? That's what it's looking for. It uses some really cool mathematics behind the scenes, and we're going all out. We actually make your computer work for a living, which is, I know, just absolutely atrocious for your computer to actually do some processing. I mean, come on, as if it can do anything else other than process your operating system. And actually, that takes me into a whole nother conversation. And being a programmer and a day trader, it's kind of an interesting mix of how I view the the different trading softwares and stuff out there. But anyway, what we're really looking at is just understanding, why does price move? Okay, why? Why does price move the way that it does? Why? Any thoughts? Why do our economics teachers teach us this? Okay. I know this is a very, very basic question, and I'm just going to go ahead and answer it. The reason why the market moves the way that it does is because buyers and sellers. We're doing transactions. Very, very simple stuff, okay? The market moves up when more buyers think that it's worth more, moves down when more sellers think it's worth less, okay? But for every single transaction, there has to be two participants, as price is moving up and down on our charts here, all right? So that is where I entered my trading journey, is why does the market do what it does? Why is this point up here where it is, okay? Why is that point where it is down there, all right? What kind of trending conditions are we in right now? Or are we trending? Or are we ranging? All that kind of good stuff, all right? So that's the stuff that I'm looking at as a trader. That's the stuff that's really important to me, all right? So over here in the past few minutes, as you've been looking at my charts, you've actually seen this readout here on the top left change a little bit as the system has reevaluated the market conditions, okay? And we're going to get into that here in just a little bit, but I think it's really, really important that we start off with an understanding of what do these bars mean, okay? What does this bar mean compared to its brother and its sister to the left and to the right? Is that a topping pattern? Why is that a topping pattern? Oh, why did price turn around down there? Like, what gave us the indication that price was going to turn around down there? Okay. I started looking around for all these different market events, okay, and understanding why the market's doing what it's doing, okay, and it came back to support and resistance and supply and demand, okay, very, very simple ideas, okay. Now, is everybody here familiar with those ideas of support and resistance? Right. Okay. So nothing new. All right. But what do those areas look like? Okay, because sometimes price turns around on a dime, and other times we see price hitting a certain level multiple times and then reversing. Okay. So for all you equation buffs out there, this is what we're looking at. Support and resistance plus time equals supply and demand. All right. And we're not going to be looking at support and resistance as just a line on our chart. Okay. We're going to be looking at price, at support and resistance and supply and demand as these zones here. Okay. So where is relatively high, where is relatively low? All right. I don't know why this is, but silver came to mind. I like to buy physical silver, okay? And as I'm buying physical silver, I buy in general areas of low and high, okay? And this is really what I do from a day trade perspective as well, Now, silver is my long-term type of stuff that I'm investing in, okay? But it's the exact same idea, all right? I'm looking for a general high area. I'm looking for a general low area, okay? And once I find those areas, then I can make the appropriate call. Okay, so now now that we've covered the basics, and I want to cover a couple more quick basics here for you guys. So I'm just going to blow up this little chart here, all right? The zones have different colors to them. So if I show all the different zones on the chart, okay, right now I'm just showing you the current two. But if I show all the zones on our chart, you can see that we have the zones that have the little red labels by them. Okay, those are resistance or supply. Green labels are demand or support. Okay, now why do we have the different colors? And the different colors are very, very important. The different colors tell us how many times price has hit each one of those different levels. Has it been multiple times, like this, or has it been just one time, or is it not retested that level, or is it fresh and new, okay? So by understanding how many times prices hit each one of these different levels, it gives us a scale on which side is stronger or weaker. Are buyers or sellers stronger or weaker? All right. So that's something else that this software does for us, okay? And by identifying support and resistance and supply and demand as these zones, if you will, okay, it gives us the general area idea, okay? Like, why did price fail to break higher up here, okay? Now that prices failed to break higher up there, where are we likely to go? Well, we're likely to go down. And that's the next area that we're going to be interested in retesting, okay? Now prices hit that area several times, okay? It's hit it twice already, all right? And because it's hit it twice already, that means that it's probably going to break if it retests it again. And of course, I like to say, what is the direction of trend, okay? Where are we going in general? As we look at the bigger time frames, what's happening here, okay? And if we read over here to the left-hand side, the top left-hand side, you'll see that we have a whole bunch of little readout stuff, okay? And what that little readout stuff, the most important line is that bottom line right there, okay? And that's telling us what trend is, okay? So if the trend is down, I'm going to expect this level to break, okay? This level should not hold again, but it should break, all right? Does that make sense to everybody? Trend trumps these levels, okay? Trend trumps support and resistance and supply and demand, all right? Because we know that those supply and demand curves shift over time, all right? So all we're trying to do is to buy and sell the pullbacks in the direction of trend, all right? Now, I just want to make sure that I'm not going too fast for anybody, all right? But all we're looking for is the first pullback to the zone. Basically, what I like to call the money bounce. And this has been around for years and years and years and years and years, okay? But the money bounce is simply this, all right? And I can, just looking at this chart, I see the different colors on here, and as soon as I see that blue zone right down there, I know that price has given this zone a money bounce, okay? So this is the money bounce right there. Again, I haven't really spent any time on this chart whatsoever, but I know that this is the money bounce, all right? You see how price left this zone, created it, then it left it, and look at where it ticked down to the tick, okay? It touched that level and bounced off of it, right? And that's the money bounce, okay? The first retest of a level, okay? And I want to categorize this that we want to take these money bounces in the direction of trend, okay? So if we know that the trend is up at this point, okay, then that's the bounce, that's the retest of price that you want to take in that direction, okay? And now we're not trying to pick the tops or the bottoms or anything like that. We are looking for simple ideas, simple buy and sell the pullbacks. Okay, it's that simple. We want to buy and sell the pullbacks. In this case, we're buying the pullbacks. Now, if we see this happen, when is the appropriate time to get on? Well, that's a really good question. Okay. The right time to get on is not trying to pick that price is going to bounce off of this level. Okay. Let me ask you this question. Let's pretend that you are going to ride the bus downtown to do some shopping, okay? And you walk up to the bus stop Are you going to stand in front of that bus in the middle of the street when you're at the bus stop? No, of course not. I mean, everybody here knows that that's not a good idea, okay? So I'm going to say that's not a good idea in the markets as well, all right? If we know that the trend is up at this time, all right, we know that we're looking to buy the pullbacks. When we see price bounce off of this level, we need to wait for a little bit of confirmation, all right? Let a bar go by, you know? Let's see what that bar looks like and as it forms, all right? And this is why reading price action, reading the context of the bars is so important, and that's really, really where I started from. And we actually have a boot camp class that teaches you how to read price action. It's the price action school. It teaches you how to read this context, how to read this candle and its brother and its sister, okay? That is the first place that you need to start from, okay? Because when it all comes down to it, I don't even need all these levels on my charts. I can do my analysis from just reading price action because it's the same pattern repeating over and over again. And that's actually kind of funny if you think about it. Like, what did your history teacher teach you about in class? Well, the one important concept that I remember my history teacher saying over and over again was history repeats itself. We do the same things over and over and over in history. And I thought about that and I'm like, wow, you know, like here I am, a trader, many years after the fact, and I'm quoting my economics teacher, my history teacher, and what they're saying now seems like ancient history and wisdom of the gurus. You know, it's just absolutely amazing. But it's really, really interesting how history repeats itself. And because history repeats itself, and because we are creatures of habit, I actually looked at time just like I looked at price, okay? These zones are all based off of price zones, okay? They're all based upon understanding where supply and demand is coming into place and giving us that area. Well, I did the same thing with these time zones, okay? So what we're looking to have happen is we're looking for our creatures of habit to come forth in the marketplace. And either consciously or subconsciously, the institutions have programmed this in. Think about this. I mean, every single news announcement out there, if we go over to like Forex Factory and you look at all the news announcements, what time of day do they come out at? Do they come out at, you know, 10:15 one day, maybe 10:36 the next day? No, they're all coming in at like the tops and the bottoms of the hour, you know? And I just think that's really, really interesting. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:30, you know, all these different times of day. And I just think that's absolutely amazing. Actually, you know what? That's kind of interesting that I didn't really plan on that for happening, but this one says that it's 12:34. So I guess maybe some people are trying to get off that scheduled time of day, but anyway, that's actually kind of interesting. So maybe some countries are trying to get off that creatures of habit type of thing. But for the most part, it's absolutely amazing how this stuff works, okay? So what I did is I developed these time zones to be at the tops and the bottoms of the hour. So when price confirms a zone, all right, and it's also at our right time of day, it's going to give us these little diamonds here. Boom, 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 boom. And then all we have to do is match it up with the trend. Okay? The trend is up, the trend is down, whatever the trend is. Okay? And there you have it. All right? It literally is that simple. Okay? So there's a money bounce. You see how this zone is created over here? This is all these zones are created from consolidation. Understanding consolidation of price. Now, some people might call it accumulation and distribution. I don't really want to fight over the words that we use, okay? But the important concept is there's consolidation here. There's a reason why price made this market event right here, all right? And we need to remember that. And we need to take that to the right side of our chart so that when price retests this level, even though it's really, really super duper quick, if it's in the direction of trend, then we just take that to the downside. Okay. Now these diamonds that we see plotted on this chart here, these diamonds are not regulated with trend. Okay. And when I say trend, I'm defining trend from this 15-minute chart. Okay, now I know that most of us here are day traders, all right? So we want to be able to apply this approach in this way, and this is why, okay? So that is really what we're looking at here. And excuse me, I need to grab a quick drink. You see a double bottom there as well. Yeah, absolutely. That's a very legitimate thing. So, excuse me one second. I think it's absolutely amazing that as we're reading price action, you know, as we're understanding the bars, like a lot of these things will come to make a lot of sense. And if we actually apply the zones here on this chart, you can see that this zone is this big. Okay. Now I'm going to get into a little bit deeper of a subject here, but I hope that this makes sense as well. All right. So we have a money bounce on this time frame right here, right? And we see the little diamond popping on the screen here. But at the same time, we're going to be seeing a fractal confluence, which means multiple time frames coming into effect right in here. Okay, so this big 15-minute level is forming right here. All right. And when that 15-minute level comes into place, it gives us fractal confluence. And what fractal means is it just means it's the same pattern repeating regardless of scale. Okay? So as we see this zone develop, now we could actually do a money bounce off the 15-minute zone. All right? So let's look at when price interacts with this bigger 15-minute zone. And with NinjaTrader, I was able to grab that 15-minute level, draw a rectangle around that level, and look at for when price interacts with that zone at our given times of day. And lo and behold, it does interact with this zone. And the first time it interacts here on the smaller time frame is right there. But that one didn't really work out. And notice that it wasn't at our time of day either, right? Okay, so that one was just not a good example at all. Okay, we don't see any diamond there or anything like that. But then we look at this one over here. Okay, and again, we don't really see the correct price action pattern as price is interacting with the zone and things of that nature right there. But lo and behold, we get a diamond at this next one right there. Okay, now if the trend is down, all right, at this time of day, that little red diamond tells us all that we need to know, okay? Because it's meeting with a 15-minute zone, and there's a 3-minute zone there. There's multiple time frames of resistance coming into effect. And so this level is the level that we want to be taking, okay? And that would be the money bounce off of the 15-minute zone, because prices just kept on touching this level and touching this level as it came up in here, you know, and then you can see it leaving and coming back to it, all right? So, but if we take this level here, where do we want to put our stops, okay? If we're taking this, we want to put our stops above the zone, okay? That's the correct place to put it, all right? Now we want to use the next zone of opposite type as our target, all right? So that's what we want to do in this, all right? And this is how the zones help us in the simple trade idea, all right? So it's the money bounce, not off of this 3-minute time frame zone, which technically, if you wanted to do that, and you were a little bit more aggressive, then this bar and this diamond is your money bounce off of this zone, okay? As you can see here, again, the past price action, and we're looking at everything in the past, we can see that price is doing what it's doing here, okay? And as we look at the confluence of two time frames now, instead of just one in the direction of trend, let's just say that the trend was down at this point. As we look at it over here, we can see something that's a little bit more interesting, okay? So this one would be our money bounce off of the 15-minute time frame, and our stop would go there. Our target can be the next zone down there, and we're ready to rock and roll, okay? So that is how we can use the zones for our stops and for our targets. Now, I like to take my targets one tick outside of the next zone down there, okay? Now, the reason being is I've just found that that works out the best, because sometimes you get these levels that stair stack on top of each other, like it just stacks more and more support on top of each other, okay? And again, we're trying to make trading as simple as possible. So we're just going to focus on this one money bounce idea. Now, this money bounce is actually happening on two time frames, so it's like doubly strong. And when it meets with the trend, that is absolutely amazing and absolutely the way you want to go with this stuff, okay? So that is a very, very interesting pattern. And again, we're just trying to keep it very, very simple. So, buying and selling pullbacks in the direction of trend, okay? Now, because all this stuff is fractal in nature, and because the zones are fractal in nature, we're going to see a lot of the levels overlap, okay? And it's going to actually help us forecast the markets, all right? And just to kind of share with you guys how this actually happens in real life, but this is our forecast from last week as to what it was going to happen in the E-mini S&P, okay? Now, this is all based off of just basic zone theory. All right. Now, looking at this chart, all right, we see price bouncing down there, okay, and it's come up here to this aqua zone, and it's bounced off the aqua zone just a little bit. But look at the trend. What does the trend say? The trend says that it's up and rangy right now. Do we want to be taking a counter trend position right here? Well, you could, okay, but I prefer to follow the trend, all right? Now, as we look at this thing, the trend is to the upside, right? And we are looking for price to be making a new high here, and then a pullback, and then potentially another new high, okay, in that overall direction of trend. So let's see what has happened since that point, all right? Let's just see. This is what's happened since that point, okay? Lo and behold, we have price breaking out to the upside. Now we're looking for the pullback, okay? And then we want to be a buyer as it confirms this zone, okay? We want to be that buyer right there. And this is nothing marvelous or spectacular in my world. Of course, I've been doing this for, years and years and years, but this is basic price action 101. This is understanding the fractal nature of the markets and why the markets move, okay? So we're looking for the pullback now, all right? So that's why we're starting to see the stuff turn to the downside, all right? Especially on the smaller 15-minute zone, okay? It says it's down now, and the reason why is because we are pushing to the bigger time retracement level, okay? This is the support zone or the demand zone that we're looking for price to bounce down to, okay? Now, when it gets down here, price could react at that level, or it could go a little bit lower, okay? We don't know where it's going to react from, okay? But the really cool thing about zone theory is it gives us an insight into order flow, okay, because of the fractals that are being formed, all right? And don't worry about all the complicated math or anything. Let's just keep it nice and simple. So inside this big daily level right here, what are the important levels inside of this, all right? You see a couple little boxes drawn right here just to the left, all right? Those were the zones that we had plotted, you know, several days before price actually did the nice little money bounce off of here, okay? Before price actually bounced to the downside, we plotted out these levels as being the important levels inside the zone. So we're going to do the exact same thing right here and right now. And we're going to go into our, actually, you know what? I'm just going to show you the power of apozones and the multiple time frame analysis just off of this one chart. Okay, so we're going to go into our indicator list and we're going to go over here to the apozones multiple time frame. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 60-minute zone on my daily chart. Okay, now actually before I do this, I want to make sure that I don't have too many days loaded, so I'm only going to load 365. Okay, because the more days that you have loaded on the charts, the more data processing your computer has to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and load the zones on here, load the multiple time frame zones on there. All right, now when the multiple time frame zones appear, all right, just so that you can track with me and follow with me, it shows us all the levels that are currently on our charts. Okay, all the 60-minute levels currently on our chart, and you can see where they are all overlapping here. Now, when we start applying 2 or 3 different time frames, it's going to form really cool fractal patterns and things of that nature. But what it's also going to do for us is it's going to muddy up our charts, okay? Because we're going to see, you know, like all these different color levels interacting with one another, and it basically turns it into mud because we can't tell what's what, okay? And I didn't like that idea when I designed the software, so I made the multiple time frame have the same color of whatever the bounce count is, but it also colors in the zone. Okay, or I'm sorry, it just colors the top and the bottom of the zone, all right? So I think this is kind of interesting here. I had identified a level right here at the top of this zone. Now look at what's happened. We've actually seen a flip-flop of price happen right in there. So I think that's really cool because the zone was yay high, or yay big, and now it's turned into this big, and this is a flip-flop zone, and that's really, really cool stuff. Just because a lot of times support becomes resistance, okay, or supply becomes demand, and that's identifying that area way before price is coming to it. So we don't have to worry about the indicator, you know, like plotting back in the future or anything like that, all right? We can see these levels being expanded out to the right side of our chart so that we can make really good decisions based upon what's really happening, all right? So inside of this daily zone, I'm just going to identify there's one level right there and there's one level down there, all right? And then I'm going to turn off these 60-minute levels, okay? All right, just because I like a nice clean chart. So inside the bigger daily zone, which is right here, okay? If I want to, I can extend this all the way out there. All right, inside that big daily zone, we have this zone and this zone that could be potentials for a bounce, all right? And it would lead us to a fractal confluence of time frames, all right? So we can adjust our forecast to really be watching those two levels, all right? And that's what we want to be looking for. Then as soon as it bounces off of this level with the money bounce off the daily, we can be a buyer as it confirms the level over here, okay? So now we have a plan of attack, all right? We've drawn out this huge elaborate plan of attack, and if you're swing trading, which I know a few of us here are, this is what it looks like. All right, and again, just going back to our analysis, this is what we saw happening last week, and it's coming to fruition. All right, so how long is it going to take for price to bounce on this level? To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we have no idea how long it could take price to retrace back down here and bounce off of this daily level back up to the high side. I don't know. Okay, but that's the great thing about these levels. Okay, our predictions can easily be weeks ahead of time, or if we're day trading, we can easily be looking at this stuff hours ahead of time, or at least several minutes ahead of time. Okay, so once we have a plan, now all we're waiting for is for price to confirm our plan, and then we take it in the direction of trend. Okay, so this little area right here, that is going to represent our money bounce. All right, now when is that going to happen? I don't know, but that's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we had happen down here. Okay, if we turn on the big daily levels right there, you see that how price has turned the zone blue. That was the money bounce. Not only did it happen on the daily there, but if we turn on the 60-minute level, okay, you can see all the 60-minute levels. That 60-minute level was there too, and except for the 60-minute time frame, this was the second bounce off of that zone. All right, and as price comes up here, we can see the areas of basically order flow analysis. We can see the smaller areas of support and resistance and what it's going to look like as price retests this green bar in the future. Okay, we can get like pinpoint accuracy as to why price is bouncing the way that it is doing, where the bars are more than likely going to form and close as price retests this area here. Okay, so I think that's really, really cool and really, really powerful. And this stuff works, well, it's been working for a very long time. Obviously, supply and demand, support and resistance isn't anything new to anybody, but we want to make this as simple as possible, all right? So if you guys are brand new to trading, which I know that we have a lot of new traders in the room with us today, the first step is to understand why price does what it does. And there's so much for me to teach you that it's not even funny, that this is a joke. As far as really learning about what's going on and why, okay? And that's why we have created a 4-week class called the Price Action School to teach you all about reading the bars, okay? Now, not only does it teach you about how to read the bars and how to do the money bounce, but it will also teach you why the zones form the way they do, okay? This stuff is based upon well, I say that it's based upon market events of understanding consolidation and expansion. But that gets us into a whole nother topic, all right? What we're really looking at is understanding price action and advanced price action. That's why I named the company the way that I did, is because it's not just price action. It's advanced price action. It's understanding the why market's doing what it's doing, what we're looking for, and how to get on board, okay? So we use very, very simple principles to guide you down that way, okay? And in this price action school, it is actually a mentored class. So you will be going along with one of our APAZone's mentorship trainers, okay? As you're doing the class, you'll be turning in homework. After you watch the video, you'll be turning in that homework to one of our mentorship people, okay? And I think that's really, really important because trading is a journey, not just a destination, okay? Or actually, I should say profitable trading is a journey, not just a destination, okay? And I think it's important that you see some of the people that have gone before you in this journey, all right? And so that's why I'm going to share with you a couple of the trainers, okay, the Jedi trainers, if you will, of the Apazones community. And here we have Michelle Hurlbut, who addresses the mental side of trading, okay, and she she goes through a whole bunch of different material, but her big thing is just making sure that we have the right emotional state to start trading and to manage the trades well. And then we have John, who is a really good trader in and of himself, okay? We actually, if you want to check this out, I think this is pretty cool. This is something new that we've been doing here, and this is our trading journal, okay? So that you can see how we're doing here. So we'll open up this little trading journal here, and let me turn it over to John's results here. So John does very well for himself, okay? And I hope you can do very well for yourself as well, all right? Looks like I'm... Okay, so this is John's trading for a little over the past month, okay? So you can see what he's been doing, the different markets that he's been trading, and this is the mentorship journal that we're actually doing here, okay? So we're just identifying, hey, is this a trend follow trade, or is this a counter trend trade, okay? What the entry is, time of day, and if you look at this, we're only trading the first 2 hours of the day. That is part of our system, is we only trade 2 hours a day, okay? After those first 2 hours of the day, it doesn't really matter, okay? But that's when we're looking at taking all of those trades. It's the first 2 hours of the day, all right? And that's what we got from the whole idea here, okay? For a little over, well, I'd say about 2 months now, okay? So not too bad, not too shabby. And then you have myself, and then you have Michelle as well. And we want to be there just giving you the insights as we're looking at trading futures and stocks and forex and all kinds of stuff, all of that stuff we cover all of that stuff, because once you understand the fractal math that's behind it, and actually I shouldn't say you understand the fractal math, because you don't have to understand the fractal math. I have to understand the fractal math, because once I understand the fractal math, then I can create really cool pieces of software that not only give us the idea of trend, but it can do it all at one time, where we can look at many markets all at one time. And this is the swing trade setups that I have going on. I can say what the trend is, whether the trend is up or down, and then I can look in for those diamonds that we were looking at before, and I can say, oh, okay, so right now this one's confirming supply on my smallest time frame, which is my entry time frame over here. And I can say, because it's confirming supply over here, then I probably don't want to take it. I probably want to wait until it's confirming demand, because the trend's up, So that's the power that this system gives me, all right? And this is the power of the elite software, all right? That's what we're looking at there, all right? That's the power of elite, okay? So if you're over to our website here, the elite software, okay, is only for the mentorship, okay? So once you go through the price action school, you will get a chance to do and apply for our mentorship. And that's when the software gives you trend, allows you to do this big market analyzer thing that we're doing over here, and allows you to see like the money bounces that we were talking about today. All of that stuff is done in the mentorship. Not only do we give you the software to do all this stuff, but we also give you the reason why the software is doing it. And I think that's very, very important, okay? Because I want you to know why. I want you to be a good trader. I don't want to just give you a fish. I want to make you a good fisherman, okay? So that you can You can catch fish as long as you want to catch fish, all right? So in the mentorship program, you'll see a whole bunch of different links here, okay? And we have 17 classes that you go with a mentorship person. Now, some of those mentorship people may be one of these three individuals, like myself, or they may be fellow mentorship people or previous mentorship people, okay? And once you've learned the system, then you get to become the trainer and you get to pass it forward. And that's how we really expedite the continuation of our community, is by people passing it forward. So if you want to look at one of these mentorship lessons in here, you know, this is the Aqua Bounce, this is the Money Bounce videos, okay? So it talks for 22 minutes just about the Money Bounce and how to take it, okay? So there's all kinds of wonderful training on here. And again, this mentorship class, it's probably going to take you about 2 months to get through all the different lessons and through the one-on-one mentorship. But then to complete out your training, you're going to be spending time with all three of us. You're going to be in the live trade rooms with us, seeing how we're doing everything from start to finish, okay? And in those live trading webinars, okay, we're going to be teaching you the ins and outs and making sure that you know what you think you know and you know how to do it correctly, okay? So I'm going to invite you to tomorrow's webinar, okay? I'm going to invite you to share with me exactly what that looks like, how that works, all right? And I'm pasting the link there for you now. This is called the APA Pub, okay? And we're going to be sitting down, we're going to be taking live trades together. Now, just so everybody knows, when we're day trading, and I do a combination of swing trading and day trading, but as we're day trading, all right, whenever you see the background being plotted gray here, we are going to have a plan, just like we had a plan for what the ES was going to do and why it was going to break the highs. We're going to have a plan, and we're going to say, hey, the trend is this, so I'm looking for the red diamonds. I'm looking for this to happen here, okay? Because we already have the plan. The software gives us a plan. Now it's just our job to follow it, make sure we have good money management in place and all that kind of good stuff, okay? Make sure we take it from one zone to the next zone, that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, okay? And we're just going to be keeping it simple. We're going to be doing the money bounces, okay? Doing the money bounces off the zones, all right, in the direction of the trend. Okay, so that is what that looks like. All right, I see that there is some questions here, and I'm going to get to those in just a minute. All right, but first I'm going to go through the rest of the website here. All right, so we said that once you become a member of the APA Zones, you get access to the software and all that kind of good stuff. But there's also a whole lot of training that I recommend you go through, just like with the price action school, okay? I think it's very, very important that everybody does this price action school. It's only $100, okay? It's not very expensive at all. I mean, I'm sure your next trade will be more risk than $100, so it just makes sense to do that, all right? And as you go through the training here, you're going to be going, and even if you don't do the mentorship, you're going to be getting important information on like money management, okay? You're going to be able to go through some of the trading interviews of our professional traders that have been doing it for 30 years, okay? Now, I've only been trading for about 16, but you know, you can listen to the 30-year-old vets, and that's really what the software is made for. That's what the elite software is made for. It's to have a 30-year-old trading vet holding your hand, okay, giving you the words of wisdom, okay, as to why the market's making these different market events that it's doing. Why is it consolidating here? Why is it expanding here? How do we take this to the look at this? Here's the money bounce right here, you know. There's the money bounce for the euro pound to the upside, okay? That kind of stuff is all given to you in the elite software, so that it's more than just training, it's more than just software, it's like a whole brain approach. And if you guys need a trade plan, to work with. Not only do we give you the trade plans, but we also give you a business plan. But I know a lot of people all talk about the trade plans, so we put a whole bunch of the trade plans on here, okay? A whole bunch of the different trade plans. If you want to see different people's trade plans from the community, you can take a look at those trade plans, okay? You can see my trade plan, okay? For the trend reversal, entries for entry strategy, you know, what I'm looking for. I've actually made all of those notes, or taken my trade plan, and I've made it into a very simple daily prep thing, okay? Here's everything in 4 nice simple steps. Every single trade, 4 simple steps. Boom, boom, boom. All right? That's what I'm looking for. My money management is down here, okay? 3 simple targets. Scalp, play the range, make it look good. We want to keep everything very, very simple and very, very systematic, you know, just like what we're doing with the price zones and the time zones over here. This is very, very systematic type of stuff. Now, the really cool part and the power of this is that the institutional traders can easily do this stuff as well, okay? And we're going to be riding on their coattails with the software. And the reason why we can ride on the coattails of the institutions so easily is just because we are using something called variable change and fractal math, all right? And when we're using those complex things, and you don't have to worry about understanding those things right now, okay? Don't worry about it, but it's there. Once you understand how to apply those simple things and just how to take that simple money bounce, boom, right there, okay? It makes trading a whole lot more simple, okay, and easy, all right? So that's really what we're looking for. That's really what we're doing. And you guys can get started really with the price action school here. So let me bring that up just to show you once again. This is the price action school, all right? It is reading and understanding the bars and why they do what they do. Like Kenneth making the comment about the double bottom, you know, he's obviously spent some time reading the bars, okay? And the software that I've made speeds up that process. So instead of doing a long daily prep, normally, if I didn't have the zones, if I didn't have the thing that told me what the trend is, doing the trend analysis, doing the trading analysis, that could easily take me 1 to 2 hours before I get into the trading day of just prepping everything out, looking where do I buy and sell the pullbacks, identifying these areas, okay, so that I can make it simple. But now that I have the software and all of this stuff is given to me, my prep time is down to like 60 seconds. So it's absolutely amazing what a big difference this thing has made personally to me, but it's also made to several other traders in our trading community. And that's a wonderful thing about AppZones is we're not just focusing on selling you software, but we want to give you a community. We provide you with a Skype room of traders sharing trading ideas, okay? We have hundreds of hours of video training. We're going to be doing the live training tomorrow with everybody. We also do that in the mentorship where we do daily training, okay, and multiple training sessions in the mentorship. You know, we're keeping it simple with ideas and concepts of the money bounce. And these zones, they're different sizes based upon what the market's telling us, so that we're always keeping up to date with the markets, okay? And we can understand the order flow of why the markets are doing what they're doing based upon very, very simple concepts of support and resistance and supply and demand, okay? So if all of that sounds good to you, okay, I recommend that you come over here to the promotions website, all right? And this is where you guys can get started here, all right? So the price action school, step number 1. And then step number 2, get at least the elements package, all right? That's the time zones and the price zones, all right? The multiple time frame ability happens in the APA generations package, okay? And then the methods, okay? That is the diamonds that we saw popping up, okay? When time and price zones and all that goodness is all in one, that's the methods. And then when we apply trend to everything and have trend automatically given to us, that is the elite package, which is the mentorship package, okay? But first steps first, you know, I want you guys to see the stuff in action, okay? I want you guys to experience what the live trade looks like, why I manage the risks the way that I do, all that kind of stuff. And that happens in tomorrow's APA Pub and learning the price action school, okay? The price action school is the beginning part of the mentorship because, again, I said it's one-on-one mentorship, okay? You're turning in your homework. All the mentorship is, it's like a college class, okay, for everybody. It's a college class for trainers, or for traders, excuse me. All right, so we approach everything in a very systematic way. We give you a curriculum, you sign on to this contract saying, hey, I'm going to do this curriculum, I'm going to do this price action school, I'm going to do it the systematic process so that you know every single step. You know why the bars are the way that they are. You know why the software is doing what the software is doing. And you can take this anywhere and you can trade any market that you want to. Okay, so that's step number one. And then I recommend getting one of the software packages and just do it for a month, you know, and see if it doesn't make a big difference. But I really, really recommend that if you get the software, you also at least get the price action school, okay? Otherwise, the software by itself may not make sense to you. Now, I know that the money bounce sounds really super duper simple, but again, you need to take it in context of trend, okay? And that's where the price action school and the mentorship come into play, okay? So with that, I'm going to get into some of these questions here and answer those. Okay, so it looks like I have some general questions as far as the software, but as far as the classes, the times of the classes are usually in the mornings, but we do have a couple of them at night. And when I say mornings, I say during the U.S. session mornings, okay? We also have forex trading rooms going on during the middle of the night as well during the week, but most of the classes are during the morning sessions. Now, when you're doing the one-on-one mentorship classes, those are held in basically those times that you're meeting with your mentor. Those can be any time that you guys schedule classes together, okay? So in that way, the mentorship is there to be very customized to you, all right? As we've been doing the mentorship over the past few years, we found that not all traders are alike, so we have to customize the mentorship to you to a very high degree. And so we realize that as you are learning the technicals, that due to the mental side of trading, you may actually switch mentors in the process of things, okay? Because one mentor may be willing to risk a whole lot more than you are, let's just say, or maybe you're willing to risk a whole lot more than they are. Maybe you're looking for swing trading and they're a day trader, okay? We want to make sure that we match you up with somebody that's like you, okay? So that's part of the mentorship program there. So I hope that answers those questions, okay? Now, the webinar tomorrow, that is going to be happening at 9 o'clock Eastern time, okay? And there is also the link for the sign up there. Sorry if that took me a while to post that, but hopefully that answers your question there. And I'm actually going to continue or stop the recording as we just get into this Q&A time. So thanks everybody for joining me today, and I hope to see you tomorrow, bright and early, for the U.S. Open.